Hey VC, Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. How's everybody doing? As you can tell from the title, I'm going to highlight a band that I think is pretty unappreciated in the VC, or at least it doesn't get shown very much. And that band is the British band, the Groundhogs. First formed in 1962 in various forms. They're from London. Tony McPhee is the guitar player, the vocalist, and the main songwriter for the band. In fact, the only songwriter for the band. He joined in 1965, and they had their first initial success, I guess, as a pickup band for various blues artists from the United States that were touring the UK. They backed Little Walter, Jimmy Reed, Champion Jack Dupree. They get their name from a John Lee Hooker song, Groundhog Blues. And they released a single, I think, in 1967 and went nowhere. They got a contract with Liberty Records and they released their first album in 1968 called Scratching the Surface. I don't have that record. It's a typical British blues record. I looked it up on Discogs. I don't think I'm going to get it anytime soon because I found one that ships from the United States. The record and shipping would cost me $71 Canadian. I found another copy in Spain that looked in excellent condition, but it was total cost for that would be $98.80. So I do not think that I will be getting that record anytime soon. And it also shows why I don't buy online. The shipping costs to Canada and shipping costs within Canada is outrageous. So anyways, that's why I do my crate digging. But let's get on with it. So the first record I have is their 1969 release. It's Blues Obituary. It's a British pressing on Liberty Records. Very much a British blues trio album in trying to emulate American blues artists. So it's a straight up blues album. If they had continued in this vein, I probably wouldn't have followed the band. A couple of good songs on here, though. I think Mistreated is pretty good, and Natchez Burning is good. Good first effort. They really made a transition with their next album, which was Thank Christ for the Bomb, 1970 release. Again, this is a British pressing on Liberty. I've seen copies of this out in the wild, and they are beat to crap. Anyways, if you see it and if you like what you're seeing here, you should pick it up. It's a great album. They're really turning into a good power trio on this record. Their first side has some great songs on it. They are all about alienation and war, yet they don't hit you over the head. Some great songs on side 2 are Status People, Rich Man, Poor Man, and Eccentric Man. Great. I consider this almost their debut of the new Groundhogs. Tony McPhee. Sorry, I forgot to mention who's in the band. The band consists of Tony McPhee, Peter Cruikshank, and Ken Pustelnik. Pustelnik on drums, Cruikshank on bass, Tony McPhee handling all the vocals and guitars. Next, 1970 release is Split. 1971 release, I should say. I'm getting all screwed up. Here is the album called Split. It's got a different cover than the British version. The British version has a black and white picture that's all kind of fragmented of Tony McPhee, kind of a psychedelic cover. I don't know why they did a different cover here in the US and Canadian pressing, but they did. Got some great songs on here. Side 1 is Split, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the big song that people might recognize or might know is the song Cherry Red. But A Year in the Life and the song Groundhog, they're great songs. Another strong effort here. Their next record is Hogwash, and at this point, Ken Pustelnik was replaced by Clive Brooks, and he became their drummer for the rest of their recording career. copy. A lot of people think that these guys are sort of a prog band. I can see why they might get confused. They are not a prog band at all. They're a rock band, full stop. But Tony McPhee has always been interested in mellotron and electronics and throwing electronics in there, just like Led Zeppelin would use electronics. John Paul Jones would play some electronics to add to the sound, create a fuller sound in the recording studio, but they never toured with a keyboard player or anything like that. So I'd never call them a prog band. They are a straight rock band, blues rock band, power trio. Some great songs on here. I love Miss Albany is fantastic. There's only one throwaway on this album. It's called Ringmaster. Kind of a goofy song, but every other song is really, really solid. They're really coming into their own here. Tony McPhee is really coming to his own as a songwriter. This is a great record. If you see, this is maybe one of their best records. This is the first record I ever heard of them, and then I started collecting them after this. Hogwash. In 1972, they released another album, and it is Who Will Save the World? I'm sure that most people recognize this album cover. Let me just open it up here. Very nice comic book cover. Fantastic. The artist, let me just look up the artist for you because it's worth mentioning. Neil Adams did the artwork on here. There's not a bad song on here. Earth is not room enough, Wages of Peace, Body and Mind, Music is the Food of Thought, Bog Roll Blues, Death of the Sun, Amazing Grace, and The Gray Maze. It's a bit of a concept album, yet every song stands alone. You can take them out on their own and enjoy them. The story is one of those the ends of the earth stories that doesn't really make any sense and takes a lot of time to explaining what it's all about. And I don't really understand it myself, but it is a fantastic album, fantastic playing there. This is I highly recommend this record. And I've seen it out in the wild before, so you might want to, if you see it, you might want to pick it up. In 1973, they released their last record called Solid. Freeform Alarm is a great song. Sins of the Father is great. Corncob is fantastic. Round, Over Blue, Snowstorm, Joker's Grove, Throwaway. Joker's Grove is a throwaway, that's for sure. But you can tell that they're sort of running out of steam, running out of gas here. And this was the last record that the Groundhogs would put out until 1976. And that's the last Groundhogs album I have. In 1973, Tony McPhee released this solo record called Two Sides of Tony McPhee. Show you this. Got die-cut tears here, die-cut holes here, and two sides. First side is strictly acoustic blues. The other side is electronic song. The whole side is electronic song. This is the inside gatefold here. And the side two is called The Hunt. Really interesting. I don't have any other Tony McPhee records. He sort of went into hibernation until 1976 when he reformed the band and released two records. I do have it in my notes somewhere. It's not really important. One is called Crosscut Saw and the other is called Black. Sorry. No, I don't have it. I'm not really prepared for this video. Anyways, another album that I see out and about that you might want to check out is this compilation called Groundhog Best 1969 to 1972. Got fantastic songs on here. Groundhog, Express Man, Eccentric Man, Split Part 1, Cherry Red. Oh, another song, great song, is 3744 James Road. Sad as the Hunter is another great song. And it's only ruined by the addition of Amazing Grace on here. One of the throwaway songs from one of the albums, one of the previous albums. So there you go. There's my Groundhog collection. Happy to throw a spotlight on them. Well worth collecting. A great, great forgotten British band. Yeah, if you see them, worth picking up. So